Hi, welcome to Holly's Hobbies. I'm Holly, and with me as always is my guard kitty, Tito. Isn't he cute? Yeah, oh, that's you saying hi. Okay, I'll let you go. Alrighty, so it has been kind of a rainy, stormy day today here in the greater Wisconsin, southeast Wisconsin area. So it's a great day to make a video and say hi to everybody. So, oh, my kitty. He's thinking he should go outside even though he'll get wet. So, it's pretty funny. So, as you noticed, I have on a sweater today. This sweater is one that I personally made for myself. It's the first garment that I made for myself. Usually I make baby sweaters, so not my size. So this sweater is from Plymouth Yarn Design Studios, the Llama Cotton Grande Swing Coat. I know that I purchased this pattern. I don't remember how much that it was, but it wasn't a very hard pattern. It uses big needles. This is llama yarn that I got from Artistic Fibers. And you use size 11 needles and needs one thing in the top here to keep it all together. And the pattern, this is it. So it's pretty simple to make, and I really enjoyed making it for myself. So something that I'm working on is this really pretty scarf here. It is made with this Color Wheel Dazzle yarn. You see the scarf here. What's awesome about this yarn is that it's got a bunch of different colors in it so that as you knit along, even though the pattern's kind of easy, you'll get different colors along the way. And it's got some sparkle to it, which is always nice. So it's a pretty simple 4-row pattern, which keeps it interesting, especially when you're changing colors all the time. Made on size 6 needles, which brings me to this. This is a yarn bowl. Yarn bowls can be, this is ceramic. This is something that I went to Creative License in Hartford, Wisconsin with my best friend, Lisa. Hi, Lisa. For my birthday. It was a very nice surprise. But yarn bowls can be wooden. This one happens to be one that I painted myself. I used a nice freckle paint here on the outside to give it some nice color and definition, because while I like to paint pottery, I'm not much of an artist. So this gives it a little pizzazz without me having to try to design anything. But then I went with a nice plain yellow on the inside because, well, yellow is my favorite color, and I wanted to make sure the yarn didn't get caught on any of these speckles that were on the outside. So yarn bowls are quite handy. This one can hold up to 3 skeins. I went with the biggest size. And what's nice is it has these nice curlies in it to keep the yarn in it. And it's helpful for when you are, if you yarn gets tangled, that you can easily undo it to untangle it. Or if it gets a knot, which happens all the time, and that way it makes it a little easier on yourself. Now, something that I've used in the past was this. This came with a bag that I have, and what's nice is it does hold 3 skeins of yarn. I used this while I was making, if you remember this, the building with color. The problem with this one is, though, while it does have 3 holes here for the yarn, there's no slots in here, so because it does zip closed. But because it doesn't have the slots in there, when the yarn got tangled, and it did quite a bit with this project, it was harder to untangle it without cutting the yarn. So then you have to stop and start yarn, and that can be a pain sometimes. But this is nice if maybe you're working on 3 small projects and you just want to keep it all together. This is also quite handy. Something else you might want to consider, kind of a do-it-yourself project, shoebox. Shoeboxes are great, depending on the size of your feet, but they have lots of space in here to hold multiple skeins of yarn. You can easily put holes in them, and they have holes sometimes already, and you can make slots in them so that it's easier to get your yarn in and out. And again, it's a shoebox. Who doesn't have shoebox laying around? So that is different things that you can use to store your projects in while you're working on them. Now I'd like to talk about some needle holders. I like circular needles. That's the kind like this, where it's the two needles are joined by a cable. There are straight needles, but I'm not a huge fan of those. I usually teach people on straight needles and then usually move into circulars because they're a little less, they're easier to use. But what I have here is this nice quilted fabric here. And in here are a lot of my circular needles that my grandmother made for me. Hi, Grandma Noreen. And in here are all my needles, circular needles, that she has she sewed in Ziploc bags. And then I also have one at the very end for notions, like sizings and stuff like that. I also keep my double pointed needles in here because it's a good way to keep track of where they are, because they come in all sorts of fun different sizes and shapes. And what's awesome is if you need a needle, you have them with you. Someone goes, oh, I need to borrow a 10. Does anybody have a 10? And you're like, yeah, let me look. I waited till I had a coupon, and then I bought the boy system, which is this lovely thing here. And in here are sizes 2 through, I think, 15 needles. And what's nice about this is you keep all your cords and other notions and like things to keep the cords together and ends for it. And what's nice about this kind of system is that when you need to change needles or add to a cord to make it longer, you just untwist it. And then you can twist them back on. And it keeps all in a nice handy case for you. Now something my grandma gave me, I think 2 years ago for my birthday, I absolutely love, is this nice bag. And it just says Holly's Knitting on it, and it's got a really nice thing on here with yarn and needles. I love this. I keep all of my current projects in here, so it makes it easier to go from place to place. A notions pouch, bottle of water, extra yarn, projects I should take out of here because they're done. But then you know whose bag is who. I should show you. This is a pair of straight needles. Again, I don't generally use straight needles, but they are handy. The thing I don't like is that this is all that you can work with for lengthwise. So if you're making something big, like let's say this sweater, you'll want to make it on circular needles because you can make the cord bigger as you go along, or you can use the right size cord. Like I like to use those baby ones, circular needles, for the socks. But it's good to learn on these because you get to get the technique down on these. So I usually teach on straight needles. You can obviously get holders for your straight needles as well. Not a problem. Well, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to everybody who is a mom out there, or wants to be a mom, or is a mom-likes person to somebody. Happy Mother's Day. Happy birthday to my mom. Hi, Cindy. You're the best, and I hope you have a great day. And happy Mother's Day, and we'll see you next week.